Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving into the totally fascinating biological superpowers hidden literally right on the surface of your body. Seriously, think about it for a second. The skin you're wearing right now, it's not just a color. It is the result of thousands of years of extreme human evolution, perfectly engineered to keep your ancestors alive. So, what exactly is the hidden advantage of your specific skin color? Well, to figure that out, we're going to travel across the entire human spectrum. We'll see how every single skin tone, no matter where it falls on the scale, is actually this brilliant evolutionary adaptation designed purely for survival. All right, let's get into it. Now, the crucial piece to understanding all of this is melanin. You probably know it as the pigment in our skin, hair, and eyes, but honestly, it's way more than just a color palette. It's a dynamic biological shield. It's a regulator. Really, everything about human skin color comes down to this super high-stakes balancing act. See, we need enough melanin to block harmful UV rays from the sun. But, and here's the catch, we also need to let in just enough sunlight to synthesize vitamin D, which is absolutely vital for our health. Section 1. Albinism, the rarest variation. In this fascinating condition, the genes responsible for melanin production are completely inactive. And because there's zero melanin being produced, the body has absolutely zero UV shield. In real life, this means sunlight is basically your enemy. Stepping outside without serious protection, it's a genuine hazard. And it actually goes beyond just the skin. Without melanin in the eyes, bright environments, like think of white classroom walls or sunlight reflecting off a paved road, they can feel completely blinding. Oh, and tanning? Yeah, entirely off the table. But here is where the human body gets incredibly clever in adapting to this extreme lack of pigment. Because their vision has biological limits, the brain steps up and actually compensates. Over generations, individuals with albinism have developed some extraordinary adaptive superpowers. We're talking highly improved hearing and significantly heightened spatial awareness. Plus, because they are so instantly recognizable, it naturally fosters an incredibly strong community identity. You know, when people know who you are instantly, a really strong connection tends to follow. Just to put this into perspective, statistically, about 1 in 20,000 people have albinism. This means it's not just tied to one specific geographic region or one nationality. It is a consistent global phenomenon that pops up across all human populations right across the Earth. Section 2. Pale and fair. Light catchers. I like to call these types the light catchers because with their extremely low melanin levels, they basically act as biological amplifiers. These skin types evolved in some of the harshest, darkest environments settled by early humans. Porcelain skin, for example, evolved in places like Scandinavia, where UV light was incredibly scarce. With those long, dark winters and low-angle sunlight, this very pale skin allowed the body to absorb the absolute maximum amount of sunlight it could get its hands on. On the flip side, fair skin, the kind you commonly see in the UK and Ireland, evolved in environments where the sun was super unpredictable. You know, mostly cloudy, but then, boom, suddenly very bright. To handle this, fair skin developed freckles. Instead of darkening the entire body, the skin smartly concentrates melanin into localized spots on high-risk areas, like the nose and shoulders. It handles those sudden spikes in UV without overcorrecting everywhere else. It's literally a highly targeted defense system. And the efficiency of this adaptation is just incredible. If you have type 1 skin, you only need about 15 to 20 minutes in the sun to produce your full daily requirement of vitamin D. Darker skin tones would seriously struggle to produce that much in such a short window under those same weak sunlight conditions. Now here is a wildly practical, modern-day perk of having such low melanin. Because the skin is almost translucent, your veins are super visible. Nurses and medical professionals absolutely love this. Finding a vein for an IV, or instantly diagnosing circulation issues, bruising, or anemia is practically instantaneous. Section 3. Light and olive. Shifting gears. If the previous skin types were specialists in low sun environments, these types are the ultimate tools for adaptability. Type 3 skin is literally built for human migration. It didn't tie itself down to one single environment. As our ancestors migrated across coastlines, mountains, and plains, the conditions changed rapidly. So this skin type learned an amazing trick. It shifts gears. When exposed to the sun, sure, it might burn a little at first, but then it actively produces more melanin to build a tan and stabilize. Then when winter rolls around and sun exposure drops, the melanin drops right along with it. This incredible flexibility was absolutely essential for populations constantly on the move. Now, alongside this, we have the olive undertone. And actually, olive isn't a darkness level, it's a specific mix of yellow, green, or golden hues right beneath the skin. What is amazing about the olive profile is that it completely lacks that red or pink flushing. You almost never see an olive-skinned person blush. I mean, think about that in an ancient environment. Whether you were hunting, gathering, or navigating some kind of conflict, having a skin tone that didn't instantly broadcast your emotions, whether you were angry, shy, or terrified, was an incredible way to maintain a poker face and stay totally low-key. Plus, as a nice bonus, it naturally masks under-eye redness, deepening into a really warm bronze tan rather than just turning pink. Section 4. Medium and brown. Built-in sunscreen. This is where the human body stops just reacting to the sun and starts deploying some serious, proactive protection. These tones are the perfect biological balancing act. Evolved in tropical and heavily sunlit environments, this skin carries a higher melanin content that works around the clock. It perfectly blocks harmful UV rays while still letting in just enough light for that crucial vitamin D synthesis. But honestly, perhaps the most important thing here is that this level of melanin protects an essential nutrient called folate from being destroyed by UV damage in the bloodstream. Preserving folate was, and still is, absolutely critical for ensuring much healthier pregnancies and giving babies a strong start. And here is the ultimate evolutionary side effect. Because this skin type is so incredibly well protected, it experiences a much slower breakdown of collagen. And as we know, collagen is what keeps our skin elastic and firm. So this slower breakdown is a literal anti-aging superpower. It is exactly why a 65-year-old Latina grandma can easily look half her age, with beautiful, smooth skin entirely without the need for Botox or any of those expensive procedures. So the big takeaway here is that medium and brown skin carries so much melanin, it effectively acts as a built-in natural sunscreen. It literally gives the body a continuous SPF of roughly 15 to 25, 24 hours a day. This dramatically slashes the risk of melanoma and other sun-induced skin cancers. And this brings us to the sheer evolutionary success of this adaptation. Because this skin was shaped for the high sunlight environments near the equator, environments that dominated most of human history, it provided massive survival advantages. If we look at a global population map today, medium and brown tones actually make up the dominant majority. Statistically speaking, it is the single most successful and common skin tone on the planet today. Section 5. Deep Black, the Human Blueprint. Now we reach the deepest end of the melanin spectrum, commonly found among populations with a deep African ancestry. This skin tone is packed with the absolute highest level of melanin found in humans, creating what is essentially an elite UV blocker. The high concentration of melanin forces ultraviolet radiation to work incredibly hard just to penetrate the skin. This severely limits UV-induced DNA damage, which is exactly why rates of sun-induced skin cancers are astonishingly low in darker populations. But hey, it's not just about the sun. This skin provides some incredible dual benefits. It's naturally thicker and richer in collagen, meaning that when it gets cuts or scrapes, it actually undergoes accelerated, even healing, rarely leaving those heavy marks behind. Because this tone was built for the absolute most intense sun on Earth, it ensured that ancient human populations didn't just survive, they thrived. It protected their vital nutrients, it kept their cells from mutating, and it allowed them to work and hunt outdoors completely safely. This immense biological success meant more babies were produced and more generations survived to pass this exact trait down. That makes this high melanin protection the literal biological blueprint for human survival on our very sun-drenched planet. So whether your skin is a delicate porcelain light catcher designed for the icy north, a shifting olive tone built for migration, or an ultimate deep black shield built for the intense equator sun, it is an absolute biological masterpiece. I want you to take a moment to look in the mirror today and just ask yourself, what epic, challenging journey did your ancestors have to survive just to give you the brilliant, protective skin you wear today?